Hello and welcome to another Code Rhetoric with Tam Talk YouTube video. So today, of course, I'm back outside because I'm remote. But anyway, I'm here to talk about coding strategies versus scammer and antic ways. The reason what prompted me to have to create this video is because I noticed, or it was brought to my attention, shall I say, that there are a lot of scams out there for passing tests, for passing coding assessments, for job opportunities. And if this is true, there are scams, there are scammers, there are antics produced by scammers to buck the coding industry. And it's not just with coding, it's with any industry that we enter into. And so, but I'm going to speak specifically to the medical coding industry because I feel like it's something that needed to be said. I wasn't going to talk about it because I didn't feel like it was my place to talk about it. I didn't feel like I was the spokesperson to talk about it, but it was brought to my attention, so I am going to speak on it. Take it for what it is. Here we go. So the first thing I want to talk about is learning how to code in minutes. There is absolutely no way, and I'm telling you, there is absolutely no way that you can learn how to code in minutes. Whether it's 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 45 minutes, there is absolutely no way possible to learn how to know everything about medical coding in minutes, okay? No way. No way at all. Do people have strategies? I have strategies, right? But I don't tell you that the strategies will teach you how to learn everything there is about coding in a matter of minutes. There's absolutely no way. And I say that just like you go to college, right? Just like you did 13 years of schooling, then you go to college and then you get the job or what have you. The same is with medical coding. You have to go through the process. There are no shortcuts to becoming a medical coder. There is no shortcuts to getting a high school diploma. There is no shortcuts to getting a college degree. You have to go through the process. And again, I'm speaking on medical coding, but that's with any industry. Whether you want to be an entrepreneur, whether you want to go up into management leadership level in a company, whether you want to do anything that you want to do or evolve in, you're going to have to go through the process. So again, I say there is no way possible, none whatsoever, that you can learn how to do medical coding in a matter of minutes, period. The next thing that I want to talk about is these are coding assessments. Oh my God, coding assessments. Okay, so I have been out of the productivity coding, right? And I'm not gonna say out of it. I oscillate in and I oscillate out. But I'm old school. I am very old school when it comes to coding, as in old school, as in I use the resources or the legitimate resources that we are supposed to use, or how the industry or the organizations recommend to use when we're coding. And I've coded based on those guidelines, and for some reason there are times I don't pass the assessment. But does that make me a bad coder? No, not at all. I deem myself to be a really good coder. I would even, if the ego was speaking, I would say I'm an expert at coding. But because I am humble, because I am teachable, I don't put my ego out there to make it seem like I know everything there is to coding, whether that's auditing, whatever it is as it relates to coding. I don't put myself in the position of thinking I know everything, nor do I want to do that, because it will be lonely, and I like people. I don't like them all the time, but I do like the company of people. And I'm also a teachable individual, as in I will forever be learning. Now, will that be tangible learning where I'm sitting in a classroom learning how to do something, or I learn in every capacity, whether I'm sitting like outside, I may learn something. I may learn from having a conversation, a general conversation with someone. I may learn through actually having a formal education. I'm learning. So, yeah, so I am teachable, and again, there is absolutely no way possible that people deem themselves as experts, and they probably are because they have years of experience. They're pretty good in their craft or in that particular specialty, and that's fine. But you have to remain humble, and you have to allow yourself to be teachable, right? That's it. My next topic my next scenario is, I don't know how to phrase this. There are scammers working in the coding industry. Scammers on the payroll, right? There are scammers on the payrolls. There are scammers on the payroll. Which payroll? I don't know, but there are scammers on the payroll. And I'm going to leave it at that. So for those of you who have integrity, who is actually doing the work that they're supposed to do, they're following the protocol, they're following the steps the correct way. And sometimes you feel defeated because perhaps you can't get or secure a role in the medical coding industry or as a medical coder, or you seem like you're stumbling through these assessments or whatever. I'm here to remind you that you got this. It's not you, okay? It's not you. It could be the assessments are rigged. It could be that the hiring people may not want you. They may want their friends. They may want their family. They may want whomever. They may not. They just don't want you. Now, that's not to say that you don't have. There may be some things that may cause you not to secure a coding role. So I'm going to go on record and say that I'm not saying that every time that you get denied a position that is on the coding team or the organization. Sometimes there are times where it could be you, right? But I'm going to leave it at that. So there are so many people on this platform, and I'm talking about YouTube platform, and I'm saying I'm on the platform as well, but there are so many people coming up with different ideas to try to monetize on this platform. I do it, right? But I try to do it with integrity. I try to have a little fun. I try to have a little educational fun with it, but I also try to bring value, legitimate value to my videos. As it relates to medical coding industry, I will not steer you wrong. I will not mislead you. When I do provide tangible coding information, I try to reference the source. So I'm not winging it, pulling it from the sky. I'm not creating something that, how can I say it is, I'm not giving you something that, based on my perspective. Certain things will be based on my perspective, as in making sure you're taking your coding breaks, because we're trying to have a work-life balance. We're trying to have a well-rounded individual when it comes to medical coding professional. But other than that, the actual coding concepts, the coding techniques, those are actually pulled from the reputable resources designed and created that we must, the rules of the game of medical coding, the guidelines that we must abide by, that we must apply to be accurate in our coding and be a source of reference, okay? Because here's the thing. Let's say a provider performs a service and we consistently code it incorrectly, right? But the doctor is the one that has been sued, right? And then he goes to court. He or she is unaware that you're miscoding their services, right? Guess who gets in trouble? Not only will the doctor, but you as a coder. Yes, coders can be sued, just like the doctor. The coders can be sued. That's why those rules and those guidelines are in place, and they were created to provide guidance. So in the event, if let's say you made a mistake, you can go back and reread or re-review those guidelines, and you can correct your behavior. But to say that you learn how to code in a matter of minutes, that is That is not humanly possible as a coding professional to learn everything there is about coding in a matter of minutes. It's not. It's not. And here's the reason why, because coding is forever evolving. It is evolving. It's evolving yearly, quarterly, whatever. The guidelines change because politics are involved in coding, right? We know that coding changes every year, right? We just had a recent change, October 1st with the ICD-10, the diagnosis codes. So we know that it is ongoing. So will those strategies work all the time with everything? I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. So you have to, you have to walk with integrity in this profession. You have to be on the up and up. You have to cite your resources. When in doubt, consult with someone who probably has more knowledge of this particular area of coding that you're pursuing or you're working in. Always back up your coding, right? And I'm saying this as a coding professional because I've been there, I'm in there, but I'm also saying this as someone who's actually studied legal, law, health law, right? I've studied this, right? So yeah, so again, just like those healthcare professionals, the clinicians or whatever can go to jail, you too, you can go to jail as well. You can be sued, you can be barred from coding, from the healthcare industry. You suffer the same consequences as the healthcare professionals, the doctors suffer. So I say this to you, when you are coding or when you are learning code, yes, there is self-study. They offer that. Some people learn better by themselves. That's okay. You don't need an instructor. That's absolutely fine. But I'm going to tell you, you're not going to be able to learn in like 10 minutes. You're not going to learn how to code in 10 minutes. I've been in this industry for years, and I'm still learning. I am still learning how to code. Again, because coding changes, the guidelines changes. There's constant changes in healthcare, and it's definitely with coding. So, yeah. So you just have to use your discernment. You have to take your time, and you have to know that there is a process to everything. Again, just like you go into college, just like you go into your, completing your primary education, there is a process. You have to go through the process, whether you are going through it by yourself as a self learner, or you're going through it with an instructor or an educator. You have to go through it. So I would say all that to say this: it's very important that you use discernment, use integrity when you are studying this industry or this body of work, and be aware of scammers and antics, because there are antics and scammers in this industry as it is in any other industry. You just have to use your best discernment, your best judgment, and don't get caught up in that, because again, you can go to jail, you can be fined just like the rest of them. So that's all that I have on this episode. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me directly, and we can have more conversations about it. If you like what you're hearing, let me know, and we can keep going. All right, guys. Take care.